Chuck Klosterman, I Wear the Black Hat, Grappling with Villains, Real and Imagined. Dive into the captivating world of villains, both real and imagined, as Chuck Klosterman explores the essence of villainy in I Wear the Black Hat. Discover how society constructs definitions of a good and a bad based on cultural concepts, and learn how this shapes our perception of individuals throughout history. Examine the works of Machiavelli, and decipher why some criminals are seen as heroes, while others are deemed villains. Take a deep look at the transformation of individuals as they straddle the line between hero and villain, and uncover the underpinnings of society's most iconic bad guys. Prepare to grapple with your own preconceived notions and redefine the way you see the villains around us.
The bias behind good and evil. Our perception of good and bad is often influenced by our culture, upbringing, and societal constructs. Philosopher John Rawls proposed the veil of ignorance thought experiment to highlight our inability to create an unbiased definition. Everyone has unique experiences that shape their understanding of morality, making it challenging to create a society that aligns with everyone's definition of good. The true meaning of Machiavellian. The term Machiavellian is often associated with villainous behavior. However, Niccolò Machiavelli's book The Prince was not intended to be an instruction manual for bad behavior. Instead, it was a criticism of political practices of his time. Machiavelli suggested that power can only be retained through instilling fear. This led to the term Machiavellian being seen as negative. However, the author's intentions were not to glorify villainous behavior. This article analyzes the true meaning of Machiavellian and gives examples of modern-day figures who exhibit such characteristics. Criminal behavior in popular culture. Criminal behavior should not be equated with villainy and has been portrayed as heroic in popular culture due to the self-confidence and admirable traits displayed by certain characters. Throughout history and popular culture, criminals have been portrayed as heroes rather than villains. This portrayal is evident in popular TV shows like The Wire, where characters like Omar Little and Stringer Bell showcase admirable qualities despite their criminal behavior. Walter White from Breaking Bad is another example of a character who transforms into a more villainous persona as the series progresses, but initially begins making drugs to provide for his family after learning of his cancer diagnosis. Even in real-life events like the D.B. Cooper hijacking case, villainous behavior can present itself in a way that garners respect from others. While Cooper displayed deceptive and Machiavellian traits by hijacking a commercial airliner, he pulled off the crime with impressive self-confidence and manners, earning the respect of the passengers. Ultimately, criminal behavior should not be equated with villainy. Instead, the traits that criminals display, like self-confidence and mastery, should be taken into consideration when analyzing their behavior. The portrayal of criminal characters as heroes in popular culture is a reflection of this belief and highlights that villainy and criminal behavior do not always align. The thin line between hero and vigilante. The contrast between Batman and Getz highlights how the public perception of vigilantes is influenced by their backstory and motives. Initially seen as heroic, Getz's vigilantism was soon questioned due to accusations of racism and his personality. In contrast, Batman's tragic past justifies his actions in fighting crime, making him a relatable hero in the public's eyes. This shows how the public's perception of vigilantes depends on their motives and backstory. Perez Hilton and Kim. Dotcom, villains or innovators. Perez Hilton and Kim. Dotcom both achieved success in modern information distribution. Perez helped popularize online blogs as a profitable content medium. However, his controversial postings, like nude photos of teen celebrities and outing gay celebrities, have led to him being viewed as a villain for lowering content standards. On the other hand, Kim. Dotcom's creation of Megaplode was an innovative way for people to consume media but led to him being seen as a villain by the entertainment industry. He openly ridiculed media corporations for failing to adapt to the changing industry trends. Both Perez and Kim forced change upon their respective industries, with some viewing them as villains and others as innovators. The jealousy of not being the first to achieve success in their industries also played a role. Unconventional measures to rank villains. The level of one's villainy might be determined by how recognizable they are and not by the amount of evil they commit. Hitler's familiarity in obscure characteristics such as being vegetarian or having one testicle might be why Western society sees him as the most evil, despite the high number of deaths caused by Stalin and Mao. Humanizing details allow us to relate to Hitler, making his actions all the more horrific.
In I Wear the Black Hat, Klosterman unveils the intriguing complexity of society's relationship with the concept of villains. Delving deep into the roots of good and evil, the book highlights how culture, personal experiences, and historical context shape our judgment of others. Klosterman demonstrates that the distinctions we make are not as clear-cut as we might think, and often change over time, as seen in the public's shifting perception of figures such as Batman, Perez, Hilton, and Dotcom. Ultimately, the book invites readers to challenge their own biases and reconsider the meaning of villainy, as well as the gray areas between heroes and villains.